Thunder crashes, shaking the very foundation of the old abandoned house. Inside, a lone naked woman runs desperately for cover, clutching a flickering flashlight in her hand. Her breathing is heavy and panicked. She doesn't dare turn the light on. She can hear something or someone evil whispering just beyond the edge of her vision. Then she swears she sees something standing in the darkness, watching her. A shadowy figure with long drooping appendages that seem to drag on the ground like tentacles. But when she shines her light directly at it, it disappears. She continues to run deeper into the house, making her way through the darkened rooms. In one of them, she notices a line of claw marks suddenly appear on the wall, as though something just clawed its way up out of the floorboards. Behind her, the house groans and moans as if alive. Floorboards creak, pipes shudder and settle. Then a door slams shut somewhere behind her, the sound echoing through the empty hallway. She whirls around, pointing her light frantically from side to side. But whatever was there just a moment ago has vanished. Suddenly, more footsteps. Heavy, dragging footsteps coming closer from the direction of the basement. Whatever is down there is coming for her. She runs to the top of the basement stairs, then freezes in terror as something begins to crawl out. It's hunched over, skeletal and hunched, like an oversized gibbous demon. Its flesh is rotten and hanging off its bones. Tendrils of smoke curl from its gaping maws, which are filled with rows upon rows of razor-sharp teeth. Its eyes glow an infernal red in the darkness. With a Herculean effort, it pulls itself up the basement stairs, inching closer and closer. With a strangled scream, she turns and runs back into the labyrinth of hallways. Now, the monster is moving with unnatural speed, bounding over the stairs and hurtling towards her. She stumbles and falls, but quickly scrambles back to her feet and darts through an open doorway. The monster is right behind her, its raspy breaths hot on her neck. She can feel its fetid, decaying flesh brush against her as it persists. She throws herself to the ground, squeezing her eyes shut, certain that it will rip her to pieces. But it moves past her without noticing. She peeks one eye open. The monster has stopped in the middle of the room. It's staring directly at her. Its burning red gaze pierces through her soul. She wants to scream, but her voice won't cooperate. Something is terribly wrong. The walls around her begin to writhe and twist like they're alive. Doorways warp and shift. Close behind her, the monster shudders violently. Tendrils of smoke pour from its limbs and eyes. Then it lunges towards her. She screams, throwing her arms up to shield her face. The world goes black. When she opens her eyes, the monster is gone. Instead, she finds herself kneeling beside a full-length mirror. Gazing back at her is the same creature, only now it seems to be smiling. It grins widely, revealing rows upon rows of gnashing teeth. Then it vanishes. She whips around, convinced it must be hiding somewhere in the room. But she is all alone. Panting, she gets to her feet and approaches the mirror cautiously. As she gets closer, she can see her own reflection staring back at her. Still no sign of the monster. But then her reflection grins. A cruel, predatory smile spreads across her face, and it speaks, not her voice, but a distorted, demonic version of it. "Hello," it hisses. She recoils in horror. Then the monster lunges through the mirror and at her. She screams and throws her arms up to protect her face. But it's too late. The last thing she remembers is the feeling of ice-cold flesh brush against her skin, the stench of decay filling her nostrils, followed by a searing pain as the monster's claws rake across her chest. Then everything goes black. She comes to, lying face down on the cold hardwood floor. Her body feels strangely heavy and uncoordinated. She struggles to lift her head up but collapses back down again, gasping. She looks down and sees blood soaking through her shirt where the monster's claws tore her open. But those aren't her claws. They're far too big, far too sharp. Panic sets in as she realizes what's happening. She's been infected. The monster has taken over. She thrashes wildly, trying to get away, but only manages to knock herself out again. This time, when she comes to, she finds herself standing up, staggering slightly, as if drunk. Her eyes burn with an infernal red light. Smoke curls from beneath her fingernails and she can hear the monster roaring inside of her. It wants to come out. She wants to come out. As she takes a step forward, the possessed woman suddenly stops as if snapping out of a trance. She looks down at her hands, then slowly curls them into claws. A predatory grin spreads across her face and she lets out a low, guttural growl. She runs to the mirror and stares directly at her own reflection, her eyes blazing with malevolent fire. The image in the glass smiles back at her. She darts through the doorway. Suddenly, the walls bulge outwards. The doorways widen. The house itself is reacting to her presence. Suddenly, She hears a noise coming from the very center of the house. It's her voice. Only, it's not her. It's the voice of the demon inside of her, twisted and distorted, yet still undeniably hers. Curious, she follows the sound. It's coming from the living room. She pauses in the doorway and peers inside. In the center of the room, her own body is kneeling on the ground. Beside it lies the bloody meat cleaver, the weapon the monster used to slaughter its victims. With a low growl, she lunges forward, snatching up the cleaver. She holds it high above her head like a butcher about to sacrifice a pig. Her smile widens. She's finally free. But her freedom is short-lived. She suddenly remembers why she came to this house in the first place. She was never supposed to find this place. She was never supposed to awaken the monster within, and now it wants to punish her for it. Looking down, she sees the seams splitting apart, tendrils of smoke curling from beneath her skin. The monster is breaking free. In the mirror she sees the otherworldly creature clawing its way out of her reflection, its eyes blazing with pure hatred. Then it vanishes. She swings the meat cleaver wildly, hacking at the mirror, showering shards of glass everywhere. But it does no good. The damage is already done. The creature lunges at her from behind, knocking the meat cleaver out of her hands. It collides with her, sending her sprawling across the floor. She can feel the life draining out of her. She's losing control. The monster is taking over. Her eyes snap open. She struggles to breathe as the creature begins to consume her entire being. Its flesh melds with hers, its bones knitting with her own. She thrashes wildly, trying to keep from being consumed, but it's too late. Her screams echo through the empty house, bouncing off the walls. Then suddenly, she stops moving. The monster has completely taken over. Rising to its feet, she towers over the kneeling form of her former self. Its eyes blaze with unholy fire. It lifts its head up and lets out a deafening roar, shaking the very foundation of the house. She's now the monster, and this house is her hunting ground. She stalks down the hallway, pausing to peer around the corner. She can hear the sound of her own voice whispering just beyond her hearing. Then she spots something interesting. A small child standing in the middle of the hallway. He appears to be lost and scared. She beckons to him with a finger, smiling widely. He looks back at her, startled. As she takes a step forward, he screams and runs away. She chases after him, darting through the doorways. Then she disappears from view. The child turns and runs the other way, but trips over a loose floorboard. He falls to the ground, scraping his knee. Blood trickles out, staining the wood beneath him. She stands over him, panting slightly. The child looks up at her, his eyes wide with fear. She reaches down and wipes the blood off his face with her finger. There, she. Coo. The child shrinks back, whimpering. Then she opens her mouth wide. The walls bulge outwards, the ceilings collapse, and she lets out a deafening roar. The child screams as he's pulled into her mouth. She swallows him whole. Then she licks her lips, savoring the taste of his fear. And that's when the screen cuts to black.